We often talk about America's huge wars or its powerful leaders. But the real story of how America changed the world is much quieter. It came from simple ideas, the everyday stuff we all use. Things like a way to make voting fair for everyone, or a quick fix for food. These small American moments, forgotten by most, actually solved the biggest problems for billions. They didn't just tweak things, they rewrote the rulebook. And it's wild when you really stop and think about it. These weren't some grand, complicated plans to change the world. Most of the time, they were just simple, smart fixes for an American problem that nobody else had solved yet. Think about the assembly line. Henry Ford didn't invent it, but he's the one who figured out how to use it to build cars so fast and so cheap that regular people, not just the rich, could finally afford one. That single idea didn't stay in a car factory. It completely exploded. It spread to every industry you can imagine, all over the world. It's the reason we have affordable, well, almost everything today. It literally changed how things get made. Or take GPS. That started out as a secret project for the US military, just a way for them to know exactly where they were. But look at it now. It's not just in our phones giving us directions. It's the hidden system that makes global shipping, modern farming, and even emergency services work. These ideas weren't just clever inventions. They were like instant upgrades for the entire planet. And today, we're digging into the most powerful American solutions that completely rewrote the rules for everyone. But not all of these world-changing American ideas were things you could hold in your hand. Some were pure courage. And the blueprint for modern justice? That was forged by one person who simply refused to back down. Her name was Fannie Lou Hamer. For 44 years, she lived and worked as a sharecropper in Mississippi, not even knowing she had the legal right to vote. The system was designed that way. But in 1962, she found out, and she decided she was going to register. You have to understand what that meant back then, in that place. It wasn't just filling out a form. It was an act of war. The moment she tried, her whole world came crashing down. The owner of the plantation where she'd lived and worked her entire life kicked her out on the spot. She was harassed. She was thrown in jail. But she didn't stop. She just got louder. Fannie Lou Hamer kept fighting, not just for herself, but for everyone who was being silenced. She traveled, she gave speeches, and she became one of the most powerful voices in the entire civil rights movement. People tried to intimidate her. They even shot at her, but nothing worked. She just kept going. And here's why her story became an instant upgrade for the entire planet. Her fight wasn't just about one election in Mississippi. It was a live demonstration for the whole world to see of how a single person with absolutely nothing could stand up to a powerful, unjust system and start to break it. She didn't have money. She didn't have political connections. All she had was the belief that she was a human being who deserved to be treated with dignity. That simple, fearless idea became a playbook. It created a roadmap for people fighting for their own basic rights everywhere. It showed that you don't need an army to demand justice. Sometimes, all you need is one person brave enough to walk into a courthouse and demand their rights, no matter the cost. That's a blueprint that works in any country, in any language. It's a purely American story of stubborn, unbelievable courage that handed the world a new way to fight. But that American knack for creating a blueprint for a better world wasn't just about big ideas. It was also about physical things. Simple little inventions that instantly fixed problems people had been dealing with for centuries. Think about it. For most of human history, one of our biggest fears was a fire starting in the middle of the night. A stray spark, a faulty wire, and a home could be completely engulfed in flames before anyone even knew what was happening. It was a terrifying, ancient problem with no good solution. Until the 1960s, when American inventors created the modern home smoke detector. It was a total game changer. A small, affordable plastic box you could stick on your ceiling. And overnight, it provided an immediate warning system. The moment smoke appeared, a piercing alarm would go off, giving families precious time to escape. It was so simple, so cheap, and so effective that it quickly became a standard piece of equipment in homes all across the world. The number of people who died in house fires dropped like a rock. That one little device, born from American ingenuity, now protects millions of families every single night. It's an instant fix that quietly saves lives, constantly. And that same genius for simple, powerful solutions wasn't just about safety at home. It also completely remade the way we buy and sell, well, everything. Before the 1970s, going to the store was a slow, painful process. Every single item had a price sticker, and the cashier had to manually punch in every number. Keeping track of what was in stock? That was a total nightmare of clipboards and guesswork. Then, two American inventors, Norman Woodland and Bernard Silver, came up with an idea that looked like a bunch of boring lines: the barcode. The first time a barcode was scanned on a pack of gum in 1974, the world changed. Instantly, checking out became faster. Instantly, stores knew exactly what they had on their shelves and what they needed to order. That little black and white pattern was the key that unlocked our entire modern global economy. It allowed for massive supermarkets, super efficient warehouses, and the lightning-fast shipping we all depend on today. From your local corner store to the biggest shipping port on the planet, that simple American invention is the invisible language that keeps everything moving. It was the ultimate instant fix for the chaos of commerce. But the most powerful American fixes weren't always things you could hold in your hand. Sometimes, they were a whole new way of thinking. A new set of rules that quietly rewrote the operating system for the entire planet. Take manufacturing. For centuries, if you wanted to build something complex, like a car, it was a slow, painful, and incredibly expensive process. A small team of skilled craftsmen would work on one car for weeks. Because of that, cars were nothing more than luxury toys for the super rich. Then, in 1913, an American industrialist named Henry Ford didn't invent a new machine. He perfected a new system, the assembly line. The idea was genius in its simplicity. Instead of having workers run around a stationary car, the car would move down a line to the workers. Each person had one simple job to do, over and over. The result was an absolute explosion in efficiency. Suddenly, a car could be built in a fraction of the time, for a fraction of the cost. The price dropped so dramatically that owning a car went from an impossible dream to a reality for everyday American families. And that brilliant idea didn't stay in America. It spread like wildfire. Factories all over the world adopted the assembly line, using it to build everything from refrigerators to furniture. That one American system became the global blueprint for how to make, well, almost everything. But America didn't just rewrite the rules for how we build physical things. It also laid the foundation for our entire digital world. For nearly all of human history, information moved slowly. To get a message across the globe could take weeks or even months. We were a disconnected planet. Then, starting in the 1960s with a government project called ARPANET, American minds started building the foundation for something that would change humanity forever: the internet. While it took countless people from around the globe to build it into what we know today, the core concept of a massive, interconnected information network was a deeply American idea. And it's so much more than just wires and servers. It's the invisible architecture that our modern lives are built on. It's how we work, how we learn, how we shop, and how we connect with each other. It's the nervous system of the 21st century, instantly linking billions of people. It wasn't just another invention. It was a complete rewiring of human communication, a new operating system for society itself. And it started as a quiet idea that grew to connect the entire world.